What's up? What's going on? Good people. Welcome back to Classics, the cinematic movie podcast that takes you back to the iconic films of 20 years ago. I am your guy, Jay Alonzo. With me is my guy,
David Neff, co-hosting here, and today we have a special guest on here today.
Very, very special guest, a good friend. It took us over a year to get this girl on the show, but we finally got her on the show, and the time couldn't have been better. I was a guest on her show. I want to say, was it early last year, something like that. But we got her here today. Please welcome singer, songwriter, the host of the And Now We Know show. Make some noise for my girl, straight from LA, Jonnie Kae. What's up, Jonnie?
What's up? Hey.
How you living, mama?
Living good over here on the West Coast, on the West Side, in LA. Yeah.
Thank you very much for being on the show. It took you long enough.
I know, right? I'm not sure why it took so long either. Like, I don't know, a conflict of schedules, I guess.
Because you're hard to find. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're hard to really, get in touch with nowadays. But, one Facebook active now message. Oh, look who's online. Hey, Jonnie, what's up?
It's so hilarious. Oh my gosh. I hope it's not that bad. I'm not that bad.
You're not that bad. You're just that bad. But it's all good. But welcome to the show.
I miss having you on my show. It was cool having you on.
Yes, being on the show was super dope. It was actually my first on camera interview since I started Back to the Classics.
Wow, really?
Yeah. So she gave me my first on camera interview.
So you were like a diamond in the rough now, and now you're like this beautiful butterfly, or how does that metaphor go now?
I don't know if you call me a beautiful butterfly is the greatest thing right now, but at the same time, hey, whatever.
A butterfly is a good thing.
It's a great thing. It's a great thing. But Jonnie is one of those people who has the immense level of talent. The girl does so much, with the music and then with the show. And don't you act as well?
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. She models. She does her taxes.
So she's a triple threat.
She's a triple threat.
You're a triple threat?
I guess you could say that, yeah.
How many threats are you? Like, how many numbers do we get up to here?
I don't, it's maybe 7.
7?
Maybe 7.
Maybe 7.
Babysitter, producer,
firefighter on the side.
Firefighter, break dancer,
Yeah, fighting crime at night.
She fights crime. She's a strong arm muscle, activist. The list goes on and on. But above all though, we finally got Jonnie Kae on the show. It has been a long time coming. Shout out to your mom, by the way. Your mom is uber cool. So when I told her that I wanted to kind of get you on my show, she campaigned to have you on the show, but it took a year to do it. But you're here. You know what I mean? So
yeah.
Before we get into the movie at hand, I have to bring the cinefolks in to have them get to know Jonnie Kae better. So first things first, Jonnie, where'd you get to start? Where are you from?
I'm from Los Angeles.
Born and raised?
I was born, raised here. I was born in the Kaiser Hospital off Sunset.
Shout out to Kaiser. Making miracles happen every day.
Shout out to Sunset Boulevard for people that know. Yeah.
Okay, so with the LA living, what inspired you to go down the path of the music and of course with the And Now We Know show and by the way, Jonnie Kae has a mixtape out right now called Girl from Los Angeles. Check it out right now, Jonnie. Of course, I want you to plug your stuff, of course. But what inspired you? What keeps you going? What keeps you motivated to be this triple, quadruple threat that you are?
That's a long question.
Take your time.
But well, the initial grind for the Now We Know show, I was I was in school at the time. I wasn't working, and I was thinking of a YouTube channel to start, but I didn't know like what I wanted it to be about. Um, and I thought about the fact that I know like a lot of musicians and producers and stuff like that, and maybe I should like just have them talking to me, and maybe I should like talk to them or something. It was initially I was just gonna have conversations with people, and then I kind of wanted to take it to another level and like professionally just interview them and like have like structured questions and stuff like that. But it really kind of started off being like a little bit of like I don't know. I want to say a mess, but it was just like I was brainstorming of like what I wanted to turn it into. But like I was watching so many YouTubers. There's so many YouTube people out there that have like all these like different story time videos and stuff like that. And I thought that that was cool, but I kind of realized like a lot of people are doing like all the same things, and I wanted something different that I could put on YouTube. And I kind of like Snoop Dogg's show. He has an interview show, and Vlad. I like Vlad a lot, and so like I kind of picked from their ideas and just started thinking of my own type of questions that I wanted to ask people. And I really wanted to center around people that are just starting out in their careers or like just about to take off or something like that. Like, because I think it's a good thing for people to see that. Like, I feel like a lot of people think you just automatically get really rich, and they don't see like the whole journey. And like I think it's really cool to interview people at that state, like right in the middle of where they barely kind of just started, or they're like they've been doing it for maybe a couple years, but like they're just on the peak of reaching their true success, their true goals. I like to get them right there. But the show, I see like so many things happening for it. Like I'm gonna have people that aren't just, you know, in the middle right there, but also people that are already doing it, like, but they're kind of like new artists, but they already got a deal and stuff like that. Like that's what we're gonna start interviewing. We're gonna start doing that. And it was all my idea. I was literally just like laying in the bed and was trying to brainstorm for what I should do.
So I'm gonna tell a quick story. When I was on Johnny's show, when I was on And Now We Know show, I drove up, and we had planned it out to a T because I think it was gonna be something kind of like impromptu. Last time I was like before I actually made the appearance on the show, it was gonna be something kind of impromptu. I just happened to be in town, and I think I was with my cousin Jessica, who she works with, and I was gonna. I think I was just there watching her just kind of do her thing. And I was so intrigued by the way she actually, preps her guest as far as, what questions should she ask? What questions shouldn't she ask? What's off limits, what's cool, what's too sensitive, da da da. And so by the time we actually full blown planned out, my interview with the show, I came in and Johnny had this whole get down. It was almost like we knew each other previously, but for interview sake, it was like she was on her Gayle King, and I was just a dude that was in town doing the show with her, what I mean? But once we wrapped, it was like, oh hey Jay, what's up? Da-da-da, let's hang out, But I thought it was so cool because it definitely showed the level of professionalism, for what we do, in this business. So for that, I appreciate it absolutely.
I like the shout out to Gayle King there. That's a pretty awesome comparison.
Yeah. Not everybody gets the comparison to Auntie Gayle. You dig what I'm saying? but the
That's really sweet.
But the layout for the show, it's so LA. I mean, it's so LA, which I thoroughly appreciate. You know what I mean? So now we're on the show. As far as where you are, where you've been, and of course the future of the show. where do you see yourself? What kind of guests are you still looking to grab? Where will the show be elevating to in the future?
Well, I definitely want to keep interviewing people that are just starting out in their career, whether they have like 100 followers or like to 100,000 followers. Um, I really am looking for like talented people. I just want real talent, and I'm not kind of really looking at the numbers too much. Because like I feel like I stumbled across a lot of really great artists already that they just haven't gotten to their end results yet. But like it's like I still want those people, and I want people that have got a deal. They just signed, and they got like a couple of singles out, or they already got mixtapes out. They've already had like a big buzz, which is probably what led to them getting a deal.
Right.
So those types of people. I have some people in mind already, but I don't want to I don't want to spoil the show. So you guys have to stay tuned. You guys are gonna have to stay tuned to see who I picked, but there's definitely some people I have in mind already for that.
I feel like that's clickbait.
It's totally clickbait.
It's so clickbait.
and for me, I look at it, as far as my experience on the shows, like, you can show up to the And Now We Know set, pretty much don't eat nothing, because Johnny got all kind of snacks like cookies.
Really?
And oh hell yeah, dude, I was sugar high. I was sugar high by the time we. Oh yeah. It was me. I think it was shout out to was it DeMario the barber? I think he was on before me.
Okay.
And there was another person on before me as well. But we all kind of hung out in the green room. Kind of just shot the shit. But man, we had cookies and we had all kind of goods, man. It was great. So to segue into the music part of things, now here we are. Now the Girl from Los Angeles mixtape is officially out. All right. So that must be a hell of an accomplishment for you. I remember you've been promoting that mixtape for months, it seems. So now that it's out, the streets is buzzing about it. So how do you feel? The reception to it has been with the single. Was it Let It All Go?
Yeah, I dropped a single. Yep.
Mm-hmm. So reflecting on the mixtape now that it's out, how are you feeling?
I feel good. I feel good about it. Like, I like that I did what I felt on a mixtape, and I felt like it was a little different than what your typical new artists, female artists, are doing. So, and I just wanted to open that gate for the girls a little bit, and so that we can start doing our own things to mixtapes, like even Beyonce, maybe one day.
Ooh.
Oh man,
you better shoot
aspirations.
You better shoot for them stars, girl. Shit. So okay, so you write your own music, obviously. How many songs are on the tape?
It's 6.
6 records?
Actually, no, there's 5.
5.
There was another song, but there was like a copyright issue with it, and that's the only reason why it didn't go out. But so there's 5 that you can listen to. And
where can they find the mixtape right now?
They can go on SoundCloud /Jonnie Kae or YouTube /Jonnie Kae.
Okay, so you heard it first. SoundCloud, Jonnie Kae, YouTube, Jonnie Kae. Girl from Los Angeles mixtape is up. It's popping. Jump on it right now. Support new
Definitely,
talent,
it's
man.
I got Big Sean remix, Goosebumps remix that I did. It's kind of like a cover / like my own twist on it, and I think people would like it. Definitely, I'm happy with it. I like it a lot. I want to do some more mixtapes in the future, but I'm really focused on more singles and an album.
See, you need to go ahead and put Jay Alonzo on there for a Hot 16.
You could at least be your
I
hype
didn't know
man.
you were a rapper.
Well, I'm not a rapper actually. I've tried.
You could be your version of Flavor Flav.
I can really host the shit out of a mixtape too, but Jonnie Kae.
Maybe, yeah, I could use you as a hype man, maybe.
I'm down. You let me know, and I'm down. You understand me?
I'll
Hell
try
yeah.
to squeeze you in somewhere.
So tell me, what's next up for you? Like, what's now cooking in Jonnie Kae's kitchen? Like, what else can we look forward to seeing you doing next?
Well, there's a really hot single I'm about to drop that's like, it's, I don't know if I should say too much, but because I want to like just like shock people, and I don't want people to like take my idea, because I feel like that's what happens in this industry so much. Like, people have something hot, and then everybody just wants to jump on it and
Yeah, it's
Yeah, that kind of
the
works
swift
that way.
jack move is what we call it nowadays.
yeah, it's like, oh my goodness, but we gotta keep quiet. You
Absolutely, absolutely.
guys can look forward to singles. A hot, like, pop, rockish,
Pop rockish.
kind of a little heavy metal. I'm gonna
Heavy
have
metal.
You're going metal? Oh shit!
yeah,
Like
there's
super
a
metal. Like brutal metal.
very, very metal.
Super metal.
But I'm already saying too much.
Well, okay. Well, then, yeah. Keep it quiet. Keep it quiet. I'm just looking forward to the hair raising metal that we're gonna get from Jonnie Kae for sure.
I just put my hair into a mohawk just thinking about it.
Pretty much. All right. So once again, Johnny, we'd like to thank you for riding in the DeLorean with us for this movie. So today we are going to skip 2 minute drill because we got the talented Jonnie Kae on there. We want to know more about her. So we skipped 2 minute drill today. So let's get into this movie, man. Dave, this movie turned 20 years old today. No, not today. It turns 20 years old. I want to say next week.
Yeah, it's next week.
And go ahead.
So, yeah, it turns 20 years old, and I think the most surprising thing is the fact that, man, Denise Richards and Neff Campbell, man, like right at that time, like this was like the first time that people really got to experience Denise in that sense. Everybody knew Neff from like the Scream saga,
Right.
And it's funny because watching this movie, I was like, man, they were like super hot, like all the way back then
In their prime.
In their prime,
Yeah.
It's like now I see them and it's like, wow, that one's on House of Cards and the other one married like Charlie Sheen. What happened?
and don't forget, okay, first of all, if you don't know what movie we're talking about, we're taking it back to 1998 with the smash hit, if you can call it a smash hit, Wild Things.
Yeah,
All right. Original release date, March 20th, 1998. Shares opening weekend with pretty much nothing.
right. Yeah,
So-
because there was nothing going
There was
on.
nothing else coming out that weekend
U.S. Marshals, as some of you all remember that
from last week's episode.
phenomenal podcast that we had last week.
Production budget was $20 million. Box office total of $58 million. Currently 67% on Rotten Tomatoes.
What do you think, Johnny? You think that's fair? 67%.
I guess
What was the last time you seen Wild Things?
it's been a while. It's really been a while. I had to refresh my mind yesterday and watch it again. But it's every time I see it, like I really love that movie.
It's a great movie. It also spawned 2 direct-to-DVD sequels that pretty much nobody saw.
Right.
But for me, obviously, us being, young boys turning into men watching the movie for the first time.
Yeah, we were boys.
The things that we genuinely remember from Wild Things, of course, that the girl-on-girl action.
Of course.
That was the hugest thing ever.
That was the biggest thing that was the biggest takeaway from this movie was the girl-on-girl. That
Look, that was the movie ticket.
That may actually be my iconic scene.
It is
truth.
the iconic
Yeah.
scene.
I'm like, oh wow, girl-on-girl action, dope. Let's do it. So, Wild Things. This movie, I guess you could say it stands the test of time. What you say?
A little bit. Like, okay, so it's an erotic thriller. And, erotic thrillers are one of those that you usually kind of know what you're getting. There's a portion of the movie that just strictly has to deal with sex, doesn't really drive the plot at all. And then there's another backstory that has to deal either with a robbery or a murder or something. Now, the most famous one that people will probably know is Basic Instinct. But again, why do people know Basic Instinct? Because of the infamous...
Because Sharon Stone is nasty.
Because one of the top 10 most paused scenes in a movie in Sharon Stone interview scene. And if you haven't seen that, well, I'm not going to spoil it.
No, I'm going to because...
Yeah, you go ahead.
Because the moving of the legs, pretty much after every question, you pretty much pause just to hopefully see if she's wearing panties. And it's like...
She's not.
She's not. And being the perverted young man that I was like, yeah, I'm going to see what's going on with the Sharon Stone scene for sure. But I know with Denise Richards, especially Denise Richards, I think she's the only one that actually gets nude in the movie.
Yeah, so Neff Campbell had this whole thing in the movie where she actually had a contract clause that said that she could not do nudity whatsoever. There are only 2 people that get naked in this movie. One of them is Denise Richards, and the other one, surprisingly, is actually Kevin Bacon, who nobody really wanted
Didn't really care to see Bacon naked.
Nobody was ready for that. Were you ready for that, Johnny?
No, I was not.
You don't want to see Kevin Bacon's ass? You sure?
You saw more than that.
It was cute though. Cute, but I wasn't expecting that. No.
Kevin Bacon's butt. Nah, no, I'm all right. So I know the movie takes place in Miami. The high school guidance counselor, Sam Lombardo, played by Matt Dillon, which, by the way, Matt Dillon, from the time he even appears on screen, you know he's up to no good.
Oh yeah, he's basically playing a non-comedic version of himself in Something About Mary.
Exactly. So he gets accused of rape by 2 female students. A wealthy, popular girl, Kelly Van Ryan, played by Denise Richards.
Right.
One of those spoiled brats, if you will.
Definitely. Always gets what she wants.
Always gets what she wants.
Yeah.
Now, growing up in L.A., you know a few of these spoiled
of course.
brats, you know?
Of course. They're everywhere.
Some of them may have had a scandal or two pop up as we grow up. But so Kelly Van Ryan and the poor outcast, if you will, named Susie, played by Nev Campbell. They hired this lawyer, Kenneth Bowden,
played by the legendary Bill Murray.
Which is funny because Bill Murray gets top billing in this movie.
Oh yeah,
but he's in it for like 20 minutes.
But it's an amazing 20 minutes. It's exactly what you wanted out of Bill Murray out of this movie.
So at the trial, Susie admits that her and Kelly pretty much made the whole thing up to get revenge on Lombardo.
And keep in mind, they sold this pretty good because Matt Dillon, leading up to the trial, is just getting his ass kicked all over the place. I mean, literally, his car's driven off a cliff, and he survives, and then kind of gets beat up, and then it almost like he gets saved, but then gets beat up like immediately afterwards, and his house gets broken into, and it's all over the place. It's terrible, like what happens to him. But then you walk into this courtroom, and you get this impression from Bill Murray because he's like, the good news is I'm not a public defender. And it's like, wow, that's not necessarily like the best way to kind of sell yourself to me. That's
so why are you here?
That's like not getting Glenn Lerner to fix your car wrecks here in Las Vegas. But, oh, man. So it's kind of funny because he goes through a line of questioning and gets to Susie, and he basically foils their entire plan, this entire plan, and it just kind of takes off from there. Now, this is about 50 minutes into the movie, and the top billing of this movie was that there's going to be girl on girl action. So at this point,
because we knew we were going to get girl on girl action.
Highlight.
At this point, Jay, were you a little antsy there? Were you wondering why this hasn't reached that particular point?
No, because if you're following the story right, and Johnny, please tell me if I'm wrong on this or not. But once they actually they negotiated this $8.5 million settlement for defamation, obviously. In reality, Lombardo, the 2 girls, they're all accomplices. They pretty much had this whole thing worked out from the jump. And then basically to and this is really just a ploy to get money out of Kelly's family, right? Now, to celebrate the success, we get the scene, right?
And
now,
it's a scene.
And the scene, okay. I'm going to reminisce real quick. Johnny, forgive me. I'm gonna reminisce real quick because that pool scene.
At this point, there needs to be a harp in here to reminisce this.
Yeah, I need some violins and everything because
Everyone loves that scene.
yes,
And I'm a girl. Like,
you know, first of all, Nev Campbell, who has this no nudity thing in her contract, which of course she breaks years down the road, by the way.
Right.
But we'll get to that later. But she has this. Okay, so they're in the pool, they're hanging out, kind of celebrating the success, and then it just goes down. So by the time you get Nev and Denise kissing, I'm just like jaw on the floor, like, yeah.
It's essentially a softcore porn at this point.
At this point, absolutely. Ray Duquette,
Played by the Kevin Bacon butt of
Kevin Bacon butt.
Kevin.
So
It's got to be like a taco sauce flavor now.
totally. So Johnny, what was your first impression when you saw that Kevin Bacon character?
His character,
Yeah.
I thought he was actually a cop. And then, well, I mean, he was, I guess, a cop, but I was surprised that he ended up being like a part of the whole
scandal.
like, yeah, that was very, very interesting. Whoever wrote the movie, kudos to them because that was very interesting that they did that right at the end, like towards the end of the movie.
Yeah, I thought it was really interesting because the movie itself, when you talk about twist, you know, around that time, not too many movies were getting those crazy off the wall like twist.
So
that didn't have like M. Night Shyamalan's name on it.
Right. So what you had M. Night Shyamalan's The Sixth Sense,
Mm-hmm.
and then you had Michael Douglas' The Game.
Usual Suspects.
Usual Suspects
Mm-hmm.
was right around that time. So it's like at this point it hadn't become the cultural norm that it would wind up becoming. And because of that, like, man, the last 30 minutes right after that sex scene, basically, the movie really starts to come alive because it's like, okay, we're gonna throw this at you. Nope,
That
it's
too?
going that way. No, we're going back this way. Oh man, bet you didn't see that one coming. It's like at the end of it, you're like, who the fuck gets the money at the end of the day? At that
Who's
point,
gonna survive this shit?
right?
There's so much going on. But so kind of fast forward a little bit. There's a part where like Susie panics, goes to Kelly for help. Because basically, you know, at this point, Duquette's onto them. He knows that there's definitely something going on.
Right. He kind of puts the pieces together a little bit, where he says, "I think this was a setup between the three of them," and it looks spot on. But to be fair, it looks a little too clean at first. But then again, you know, I guess he is a detective, so he would kind of figure this out a little bit. And keep in mind something: this entire movie, everybody really knows everybody. Like everybody's very familiar with everybody, and it's kind of one of those things where it's a little difficult because there's almost a prequel to this movie that really should have been made to explain their backstory. And I hate prequels,
Right.
but I felt like this really needed a prequel to kind of explain all the backstory, but it didn't really matter in the long run. So they get to this scene, and we get another amazing scene where now there's kind of a girl fight that happens, and then a struggle ensues, and then they're kind of making out in the pool again.
Yeah. Okay. So about that part.
First off, Johnny, has anything like that ever happened to you in any sense whatsoever, drunk or sober?
No, that's never happened.
Nah.
So when you throw down, it throws down, and then do you like not talk to him for like several years? Or
Johnny says, when I fight that bitch, I fought that bitch. And we didn't make him after
It
that.
doesn't usually work that way. Like they clearly had a relationship already, so that could be their thing. Maybe Neve Campbell she liked to get slapped on, slapped up a little bit.
Wow.
And there's plenty of girls out there. I know some too that they like being hurt, like slapped and like sometimes punched. Like it's a turn on.
Not with the Me Too movement.
Nope.
Yeah, well, not those girls, of course not.
Oh no.
No. Well, I'm all for the Me Too movement too, because there's a lot of people that they cross the line and they deserve to be dealt. They should be held accountable for it, and I agree with that.
Absolutely
but
agree with you.
There's you're not gonna just start making out with the girl you just fought with. It's just not. It's like that's something that guys, I think, like would love to see, and it's kind of like a fantasy type thing.
It is, but it's like in a very, very weird way. Like if I were to witness that, I'd be intrigued, but at the same time, it's like, whoa, okay, did you just punch the shot this chick like just like 10 minutes prior to this, and like she's bleeding out the mouth, but y'all like going at it in the pool.
I feel like it's one of those unstable like Facebook relationship where it kind of keeps switching back from single to just married to it's complicated and then all over again.
Yeah.
Only now we're getting it live.
Yeah, it goes from single to it's complicated to in a relationship to like, you know what, it's open. We're very open now. But
I don't know.
So they fight and then they make out and they do it in the pool. And Duquette sees the whole thing.
And he's filming it.
And he's filming it on top of that.
I think my favorite scene, like immediately afterwards, is the fact that not only is he filming it, but he decides to play this like right in the middle of the police station. Like he's just like, and he's not taking his eyes off of it whatsoever. So it's one of those things where it's like,
I mean, would you?
I mean, no,
no, not really.
Not really. But
Yeah, everybody's like, whoa.
Look, he had to convince his boss to get his salary that day. Let's just let's
Very
be
true.
honest there.
And it's like, I mean, technically I did see this like firsthand, but like, damn, how do I explain this? Like, wow. So a few nights later, Lombardo and Kelly, they take Susie to the beach. They kill her while Kelly waits nearby, and they wrap her body in plastic, throw it in the trunk of the car, and drive out to the swamp where they pretty much get rid of the body.
That's interesting you bring that up, because whose body was that? Because Neve Campbell is still alive.
That's the good old twist for you, because before I even get to that part, just like we mentioned the other day about movies that are like shot in LA, right? And it gives LA a certain feel, right?
Right.
Movies that are shot in Miami around this time, I can't help but to like visualize like there's a gator within 10 feet of anything that's going on in Miami.
Right. And that's why it's hard to believe that's actually in Miami. Like when I think of Miami, I think of like girls, bikinis, usually very little on, Cubans. I'm talking
alligators.
like no, not alligators.
I think alligators.
No way.
Yeah.
No way. That felt more like Tallahassee to me. With like a beachfront property, because there was too many alligator wrestling there.
Miami, like Vice City or something. That the video game.
The Vice City game is almost probably the perfect explanation of how you would view Miami in this movie. 100%. Because like, yeah, it's set in the 90s, but this could easily been like a movie like shot in the fucking 70s.
Right.
With like super like disco going on. And, you know what I'm saying?
Well, I mean, that's how erotic thrillers were.
That's usually how they go.
And they were like really prominent in the 1980s. And then they kind of had a revival in the late 90s. And we're kind of like sniffed around. And it's ironic because one of the most incredible stories to come out ever since is considered an erotic thriller in Gone Girl.
Yep.
And that, oh man, I was dating a girl at that time when that movie came out. I was unofficially single for 3 days afterwards.
Because you didn't trust nobody. Yeah,
no.
I feel you.
She had to do some convincing.
So Duquette and his partner, Gloria, they get called in to investigate the disappearance, in quotation marks, of Susie. And her blood and her teeth are found at the beach, right? While the car is found at a bus terminal.
Right.
Right? So the DA's office, again, insists that he just drop the case. She's dead, whatever. But Duquette asks the partner to watch Lombardo, and of course Lombardo confronts Gloria and invites her in to read his school files on Kelly. And she discovers that Kelly is deeply troubled, violent, and made worse by the suicide of her father.
Yeah.
Right?
And then they almost make out.
So
He got everybody in it.
Yeah, I don't know what kind of juice Lombardo actually has, but damn, he has a lot of it.
I mean, it's working, right?
He was sleeping with everybody.
Yeah, like
There was like a throwaway line that he was literally like, "God damn, this guy's like slept with like half of what's the name of the place? Something Bay.
man,
It's like Duck Bay or something.
Duck
like
Bear,
that.
something like that.
Right. It was something super fancy, right? He's like he slept with like half of the people here, and I'm like, and the fact that these were still considered high school seniors. So were they 18?
Exactly.
I feel like the I think the least problem to deal with right now is these teacher students that in this movie and with this plot, the least dealt with problem is the whole teacher student sex scandal situation. It's money being missing, people turning up dead, or weird plots are going on. Have we yet to address the fact that this man is fucking the students?
Right. Yeah. No.
I know they just breeze past that.
Like we're gonna breeze all the way past that. Like, no, that's important, but not as important as what's really going on.
Never mind that. Never mind all that.
Listen, they graduate in June. It's April. Listen, like they'll be legal soon. That's not a big deal.
We just round up after a certain point. After a certain month, you just round up on their age.
Yeah, totally. So Duquette goes to Kelly's house to confront her. When he arrives, Kelly attacks him, shoots him in the arm. Duquette is left with no choice but to kill her in self-defense.
Right. And what was really interesting about that scene is you don't see the dead body.
You really don't.
So it's one of those things where it's like, oh, well, we saw the dead body of Neff Campbell. Does that mean that Denise Richards is not dead because they don't see it? But then immediately afterwards, the mom, who is the one that wrote this $8.5 million check, runs in and confirms it, which is literally the first confirmed kill that we actually get in the movie.
And it's crazy because he doesn't get, no charges are filed against him.
No.
But he is let go from the force.
Right. But that was because he kept fucking around with them. He kept messing around with them, and it was kind of like it was his prerogative to basically keep messing with them until something basically comes out of it. Which at that point was probably when I started to get suspicious of why he was so intent on figuring out this entire story. Like he wasn't he wasn't in line to get the 8.5 million at the time.
No.
That we that we were finding this out. And then the next scene happens. You get this pan shot. He's let go from the force. Duquette's let go from the force. They do this pan shot of Dylan checking out some girl. Probably was going to lay them as well. And goes back and somebody is showering at his beach house. He opens it up and there is
Kevin
Bacon's butt.
Kevin Bacon's
butt.
Yep. Turns out they're fucking partners now.
Right.
Been partners this whole time. Only thing that separates Duquette and Lombardo is that they're not actually fucking.
Right. Well, no, there was totally going to be a plot line about that. Like, I decided to look this up in some of the trivia, and they were supposed to make out, like, afterwards, like right there.
Thank God they didn't.
And Matt Dillon was like, "No, I'm not cool." But he said, "But Kevin Bacon really was like, he was kind of okay at first with it." I'm like, "Oh, come on, man."
So you just like Kevin Bacon butt.
He just, everybody wants a piece of that Kevin Bacon butt.
Nah,
Kevin
man.
butt.
So
It wasn't bad.
Johnny, let me ask you this. So by the time we get to Kevin Bacon butt, and basically the plot is really beginning to thicken, if you will. We now know that they are partners. We also know that they pretty much from jump had this whole thing planned out. So how did you feel when the twist really began to come to a head? Really, when you really start to see like how things are beginning to play out.
I thought, wow, I thought this was good already, but it's really good now.
and it just made the movie come more alive, even more alive than it was. Like, it was good to me when I first seen the movie. I was shocked at the whole plot, and then watching it back again, it's still shocking. It's still like a good story. And it was I loved it. I'm like really into suspense stuff, and I like when people like do those like type of twists. I like movies like that. So I loved it and thought it was great. I'm like, oh yes, this is exactly what I want to see.
All right, off-topic question. Did you like Gone Girl?
It was all right.
It was just all right?
There's no Kevin Bacon button Gone Girl.
Well, I mean, but you get Ben Affleck abs.
I can't even fully remember Gone Girl all the way anymore.
Okay, that's fair.
So at this point now, Lombardo, he's not the most pleased with Duquette. He killed Kelly instead of framing her as the original plan was. They agree that they now have fewer loose ends, obviously. They go fishing on Lombardo's sailboat, where Lombardo tries to pretty much kill Duquette.
And pretty much succeeds.
And succeeds.
In a sense. He basically, for those of you rich people who decide to listen to the show, go sailing. He needs to basically untie a mast to let some of the sails catch some drift, and kind of leans over too far where, Matt Dillon basically shifts over the boat. Everybody kind of falls into the water, but he's kind of holding onto the rope. When he pulls himself back up, and then he says, "You're supposed to be dead." And that's where you see Neff Campbell back alive with a new haircut, no problem holding a harpoon gun.
Very much alive.
That part was really shocking for me, too.
Yeah?
That she's still alive. It was like, even more. This is good. This is so good.
So he gets shot twice he gets shot twice by this harpoon gun because apparently he can reload harpoon guns like nobody's business. And
I thought it only came up with like one harpoon.
I thought so too.
Yeah, because you have to reload that, don't you? And that takes some time to reload. I'm pretty sure.
And here's the funny thing about that. It's a sailboat, right? Mm-hmm. So you're not going to really go out there to catch big fish. Like, you're not going out there to go marlin fishing, which is kind of the point of having a harpoon gun there in the first place. So why were there two harpoons?
To kill.
Everybody knew the intention there.
Now, okay, so now what I find incredibly interesting is that after Duquette's pretty much out the way, now Susie then poisons Lombardo's drink, knocks him overboard so his body won't be found.
Right. So we now have bodies and bodies and bodies all over this mess, and the person that makes out with the $8.5 million for now until the sequel when Bill Murray decides to go after the money afterwards, because that's totally how this movie would basically go.
Which we know that's going to happen.
Of course.
Right.
20 years later is Neff Campbell. And she goes off sailing off to paradise, or Florida Keys at least.
So they reveal in this post-credit scene that Susie does have a genius IQ of near 200.
Right.
Right. And was the ultimate architect of the entire plot.
Right.
This complete, just off to her own, I guess, kind of, if you will, outcast. Nobody really wanted to hang with her, and she was a weirdo. Yada yada. It turns out she's the whole mastermind behind this entire thing.
Right.
For $8.5 million. Shit.
So let's think about this plot for a second. You have $8.5 million. You have to accuse a counselor of rape, convince basically the person to perform a defamation lawsuit against said counselor, score the $8.5 million, convince the other two who are in the plot to kind of not trust you so you can seemingly get killed so that it seems that they can get away, have one of them get killed by the cop, have the cop get killed by the one guy, you come back and kill and kill, or I'm sorry, you come back and kill the cop, and then you kill the other guy and you walk away with $8.5 million.
Well, so in the post credit scene, she had been sleeping with Lombardo,
Right.
yet could not get him to bail her out,
Right.
and had discovered that Lombardo and Kelly were also sleeping together, and used it to pull him into the plot.
Right.
Starting with having him befriend Duquette. Like, this is a super deep, really detailed plan you have that I'm going to assume took months to really plan out.
Years. It
Years.
had to take several years if you think about it.
And as for Kelly's death, she had not, she didn't attack Duquette as he had claimed. In reality, she tried to escape the guest house where he came through and shot her dead.
Right, of course. But, of course, we don't see the actual shooting that happened.
But if it took years, wouldn't that make the girls like 15 or 14 years old?
Yes.
Well,
so we're going back to this teacher-student sex scandal thing that nobody wants to talk about.
So now the question is how long has she been sleeping with the guy?
Since like freshman year, probably.
It really had to be about freshman year.
Yep.
And it had to be just...
Must be the chin. Matt Dillon's got a great chin.
You know what's funny? Like, my best friend looks exactly like Matt Dillon. So now I'm going to bring it up to him next time I see him. I'm going to be like, yeah, you have the looks to have sex with a 14-year-old.
Yeah, you look like you are ripe for a teacher-student sex scandal. Like, dude, keep your hand on these babies, man. Seriously. But one of the final moments of the movie I just thought was just genius. Like, when we get back to Bolton and he goes to Susie, kisses him on the cheek. As she walks out, Bolton tells her, "Be good."
Right.
Whew, the line is it was chilling because it's like, dude, she's fucking psycho.
Right.
Psycho, but genius at the same time.
Right.
So
Yeah.
well, that's Wild Things. That's Wild Things. All right, so let's get into takeaways. Jonnie Kae, as our guest of the show, who's getting her That Guy award?
Kevin Bacon.
Duquette, Kevin Bacon Butt.
Butt Bacon.
Kevin Butt Bacon? Yeah. What about it? Your That Chick award?
Nev Campbell, of course.
This Fool, your least favorite character?
The mom.
The mom was a bitch, wasn't she?
Yeah, she was terrible.
She was horrible.
She like comes out in this bikini, trying to.
She's one of those moms who just wants super attention, you know.
I know. She was basically Stacy's mom. If before
Totally Stacy's
Exactly.
she was Stacy's mom.
She's exactly Stacy's mom.
All right. What scene would you cut out?
I would cut out. I was gonna say Kevin Bacon's butt, but no.
Well, no, because that's your iconic scene.
Exactly.
Kevin Bacon Butt.
Because I would like to see that just privately. Just kidding.
On your own time. Got you. Okay.
But I think so many good parts. Man, what would I cut?
You don't necessarily have to cut out anything.
Yeah, you can just say nothing.
I don't think I would cut anything. But the beginning, I guess, like, I would probably want to get it to, like, move a little faster. Like
clean it up.
Noticed, like, well, the intro of the movie was so long.
You know what? Yeah, that is a good point. It did feel like that intro was like 3 minutes long.
Because
Yeah.
it was.
It took a while to get started, so I guess the beginning.
And what's your iconic scene?
The girls, well, when they have the threesome, I thought that was cool.
I think we're all in agreement with the iconic scene is going to be for this movie.
I think so, and I think we can go ahead and call it the iconic. scene
Yeah.
there.
Dave, who's getting your That Guy award?
You know what? It's going to be Bill Murray.
Gotcha.
That's Bill Murray. He was so good.
He was hilarious. He like just trying to run this like insurance scam, while trying to like uphold the law. and then he like figures out the plot, but it's kind of like weak presentation. He just kind of has like this yellow jumbled bunch of paper that he's like you can clearly tell he like wrote down his questions on like a McDonald's wrapping paper, and he just
had no real experience as like what you need him to be. Yeah.
Right, exactly.
Who's getting your that chick award?
It's got to be Nev. You know, it's got to be Susie. It was brilliant how the plan kind of came together, no matter how many twists and turns it took to get to the final point. Mm-hmm. She was definitely the architect to that.
This Fool Award.
While I was watching the movie, I was like, man, it's going to be the cop. The cop's so hard. But then like the twist happened at the end, so again it switched that off. I am actually going to say the kid that was working with Matt Dillon on the boat.
Yeah, that was a very naive child.
Yeah, that he was just like, oh, you know, he said if I put myself through college, I have no problem. Then you come to find out like Lombardo got through to University of Miami on like an athletic scholarship. So he's like, it's like, dude, do you literally believe everything you hear at this point?
Not at all. What are you cutting out?
You know what? I'm actually going to cut out the IQ scene. You know, at the end of the movie, like, it just kind of felt like, it felt like, if anything, that should have been either earlier, like right before the big reveal, or it should have never been in the movie whatsoever. You should have just said, wow, she was actually really smart in doing this. And then it should have been a deleted scene in my eyes.
An iconic scene.
I mean, yeah, it's going to be the threesome scene.
Definitely.
You know, it's tough to say. Go ahead, Jay.
Okay,
that guy award.
That guy award is going to go to, I'm going to give it to Lombardo, because above all, dude, teacher-student sex scandals are a real thing, and the fact that you never got once really questioned about that particular thing irks my fucking soul, but you got away with it, so I guess cool. But that chick award is going to go to Susie, because she's the mastermind of the whole thing. She looked good while doing it, and she really had me going for a while, like, you know, obviously before the big twist comes at the end. I thought they really killed her off.
Yeah.
I believe they killed her off.
You know what? They had that one scene where she's like, okay, how did she escape that plastic bag? Because her body is wrapped in that saran wrap pretty good.
Was she really in it?
Well, I mean, they kind of like pan over to, and you see like, I don't know.
The hair?
Well, I didn't know if it was cut at that point.
Very true. Very true.
Well, actually, no, because maybe, okay. I'm kind of piecing that together there. Okay.
My This Fool Award is going to go to the mom. Because you got to be ashamed of yourself trying to be just all kind of sexy out here, trying to bag these young men out here. Come on now. Yeah, her mom had a nice body, but still, it was like, come on now.
Come on, man.
Your daughter's way hotter.
She was a California single mom in Florida.
Yeah. I cut that out. I'm going to go with you with the IQ part. Even though I thought it does make for better content, I feel like if they didn't actually establish that in the beginning,
right?
Don't even mention that at all. Right. You know, she's just, you know, we were led to believe at this point she's just a girl who just came up with a fucking genius plan. Right. You know, it turns out she's a genius.
She actually is a genius.
Yes. Iconic scene. You know my iconic scene. That pool, baby.
Yeah. I was a little worried you were going to say Kevin Bacon.
Kevin Bacon's butt, of course. No, that pool scene. You know, when we get that three-way scene, which is really going to be like a kind of a tie between that pool scene and then the second pool scene when they fight in the pool, right? Which leads to them going at it in the pool, right? But they went for it, which I thought was just so dope. Yeah. So yeah, that's for me. So let's get into quick hits and we'll wrap this thing up with Jonnie Kae. Quick hits. During the filming of an outdoor scene by the river, a gaffer was fixing the lights and noticed something floating by in the river. It was a dead body.
That is so creepy.
The police were called, and when they arrived, they anchored it to the dock. Out of sight of the camera, they removed it after the scene was shot. So
the cops were literally like, "No, this is real, absolutely real." The cops were literally like, okay, we don't want to stop this movie because it may be Oscar worthy, and instead,
did they use that dead body as a prop? Wow, cause that's fucked up. They did.
Wow.
That's fucked up. They did.
Maybe
This would be good for the
fed it to one of
movie.
the alligators
my
out there.
Gosh.
Yeah,
What does the world come to?
Miami,
Is
man.
this where we are?
See,
Is this where we really are?
Miami.
1998 was a dark year, apparently.
Miami, man. I'm trying to tell you. Nev Campbell never appears naked in any scene, in any sex scenes, even in the unrated version, because she has a no nudity clause written in her contract. She would, however, go on to appear nude in "When Will I Be Loved" in 2004.
And apparently she was loved in that
When
movie.
you realize that
you gotta get naked
might
in the movie.
show a titty or two to really
You
get
gotta-
ahead.
You gotta
Yeah,
get
the money
8.5.
was probably better.
Yeah.
A better offer.
All right. Despite prominent billing, Bill Murray only gets about 20 minutes of screen time.
Yeah, and it's iconic.
Here's something funny. Robert Downey Jr. was originally cast as Sam Lombardo, but dropped out.
Yeah, because of his drugs.
His drug habit. And I'm so glad he did. It's bad enough you're fucking the kids and you got a drug problem. Like, oh,
And
dude.
then you become Iron Man.
And then you make no. Prior to filming, Denise Richards had a corrective breast implant procedure after she had a rush breast procedure at the age of 19. But the surgeon again gave her larger implants than expected.
And they played off well in the movie.
They play off quite well in the movie. Thank you, Dr. Breast, whoever you are.
Dr. Breast.
Even though Susie and Kelly's characters were supposed to be in high school, Nev Campbell was 25 and Denise Richards was 27.
Okay. That makes me feel good that at least the industry.
Not me, because I'm still supposed to be convinced that these are two 18-year-olds, 17-year-olds, and you're fucking you're fucking a teacher, and nobody wants to talk about it. Nah.
That's very true because that was their role. Even though they're of age, they were playing young girls.
They were like, skip the graduation scenes and just get in here.
Yeah, trust me, it's all good. Kevin Bacon, Matt Dillon, Nev Campbell, and Teresa Russell all get credit over Denise Richards.
For what?
I guess at that time she wasn't really all that well known.
No, she wasn't.
I think prior to I don't know what was she even in prior to this movie.
I really don't know if she was.
I know after the movie she went on to do the Bond flick, World's Not Enough, and she did some other stuff too.
Man, I have so much to say about that Bond flick.
It's horrible. Trust me.
It has the best script in the world.
And now we got one more here for you. Tara Reid auditioned for the part of Kelly Van Ryan.
That makes all the sense in the world. But the only way that they could have gotten there is if they followed it with Sharknado 5 afterwards, where she's a robot.
Nah.
And she escapes off the boat by being
I'm
a cyborg.
totally good with Denise Richards, actually. Yeah.
Denise Richards is so much better for that part.
Yeah, she was just way colder, man.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? She was a cold little piece.
Yeah.
Then she married Charlie Sheen. And,
Tara
you know,
Reid is not. She's not bitchy enough. Like she'd have to be really, really kind of like it's more bitchy. Like Tara Reid's not that bitchy, but like Denise Richards, she got it. Like she even has the whole face down. Like
oh yeah, she could play off bitchy
fuck
quite
out
well.
you.
She's
Actually,
got resting bitch face.
very super resting bitch face. Super. Johnny, it has been an absolute pleasure to have you on with us today. Thank you so much for riding with us in the DeLorean for what we now know as the freaky sex movie called Wild Things. And yeah, you got to come back for another one.
I would love to. I had a really good time talking to you guys.
Totally, man. Let the good people know where they can find you.
You guys can find me on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram at Jonnie Kae, and on YouTube /Jonnie Kae, SoundCloud /Jonnie Kae, and my website. You can go to my website www.jonniekae.com, and you'll find out more things about me. I also write short stories, and I'm coming out with a book, so you guys can stay tuned for that, and just go to my website.
And don't forget that Girl from Los Angeles mixtape out right now.
Right.
Get it right now. Get it while it's hot.
Right now. Listen to it. It's dope.
David Neff, where can the good people find you?
You can always find me on Instagram at David Neff Transforms. I'm always promoting drafttech.com, where we continue on our latest mock drafts. And, of course, my number one show, BTTC here, Back to the Classics here with the Beat Network family. Hopefully gain some more projects in with these wonderful people. And definitely follow me. Message me. I'll write back. No problem. You can say whatever you want to me. I may read it. I don't know.
He may actually cut you out.
I happen to be one of those angry
Yeah.
YouTube commenters.
I love it. It's awesome. No, fuck you. You can follow me on all those social media simply at I am Jay Alonzo. That's Instagram, Facebook, Snapchat, and Twitter. You talk to me and I'll talk back. Of course, the Back to Classics Facebook page, Back to Classic, a movie talk group, is up and popping. Jump on in there and join the conversation. We'd love to have you. Of course, BeatNetworkOnline.com gives you links to all your favorite Beat Network shows, merchandise, and of course, keeping you up to date with all the newest news. Does that make any sense? All the newest
news
updates
in
the entertainment industry. We're here for you, of course. And of course, me and Dave will be back next week with a whole nother ride right here on Back to Classics, right here in the DeLorean. Jump on in, ride with us. We love having you guys on. Once again, shout out to our beautiful, uber talented guest, Jonnie Kae, for riding with us today.
Thank you so much for being with us.
Thank you guys for having me.
We'll see y'all next week, man.
So much fun.
All right.
So much fun.
Back to Classics. We out.
Bye, everybody.
Peace.